Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh b'dvaro. Chapter 3 in the 13 petaled rows by the great Rabbi Adin Steinsatz of blessed memory, my teacher. Nothing like that morning cup of espresso. Made it with a machinata, like Italian espresso maker. It was a present from a very good friend. So thank you. And, Susan, you're sponsoring this prayer breakfast. Anyhow, so here we go. He says the soul of man, the human soul from its lowest to highest levels, is a unique and single entity, even though it is many-faceted. It is in its profoundest being, the soul of man is a part of the divine, and in this respect is a manifestation of God in the world. To be sure, the world as a whole may be viewed as a divine manifestation, but the world remains as something else than God, while the soul of man in its depths may be considered to be a part of God. Indeed, only man, by virtue of his divine soul, has the potential and some of the actual capacity of God himself. This potential expresses itself in the ability to go beyond the limits of a given existence, to move freely, to choose other paths, enabling man to reach the utmost heights or to plumb to the deepest hells. In other words, the power to will and create. Man's free will thus derives its unique potential from the fact that it is a part of the divine will, without limit and without restrictions. Man's creative power is also derived from the same divine power to create things that never existed before, to destroy things already in existence, and to fashion new forms. Question, open parentheses, how do we do that? How is a man... what does it mean the man has a creative power to create things that never existed before? Splitting an atom, perhaps. I don't know, that kind of thing. But I think maybe it existed. I think split the atom. All of these particles existed before, so I don't understand. Maybe it's an idea to bring a new idea in the world that never existed before, an original idea. I don't know what it means here. The power to create, to fashion new forms. Yeah, okay, the forms you don't understand by physics. We can fashion new forms. We can take clay and make it into a pot. In this sense, too, man is made in the image of God. Like God can do that, we can do that. So that's what it means. That he has the will to create. He has the power to will and create. So God, too, has the power to will and create. Understandably, the divine does not appear in man in all the infinity of being, and we speak only of an aspect of God, or of a divine spark as constituting the essence of the inner life of man. However veiled and masked, in its broader context, the human race may also be considered the manifestation of God in the world. And each and every person is an intrinsic part of this divine source of light, the point of essence. Which essential point and source is known at a certain level. It's supposed to be read this way. Which essential point and source is known at a certain level as the Shekhinah, and at another level as Knesset Yisrael, the divine vitalizing power, giving life to the world. That's Knesset Yisrael, literally the community, the congregation of Israel. It's an expression for the spirit. It's a spiritual concept. So the essential point and source is known at a certain level as the Shekhinah, the divine presence, and at another level as Knesset Yisrael, which is similar to the Shekhinah. It's the divine vitalizing power giving life to the world. Knesset Yisrael is the pool in which all the souls in the world are contained as a single essence, although it does not reveal itself as such, for in the world only a glimmer of the sparks of holiness in certain people is revealed. Every soul is thus a fragment of the divine light, as a spark, a part containing something of the whole. The soul's essential wholeness cannot be achieved except through effort, through work with the greater whole. Nevertheless, in spite of all the bonds uniting the individual soul, either with a higher source or with every other soul, each particular spark, so to speak, each individual soul is unique and special in terms of its essence, its capacity, and what is demanded of it. No two souls coincide in their actions, their functions, and their paths. No one soul can take the place of another. Even the greatest of the great cannot fulfill this role, this special role. The greatest of the great cannot fulfill the special role, the particular place of another. No one soul can take the place of another, and even the greatest of the great cannot fill the special role, the particular place of another that may be the smallest of the small. From this notion, incidentally, derives Judaism's profound respect for human life. The life of a person is something that has no possible substitute or exchange. Nothing and no one can take its place. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei nefeshot rabot v'chesronan al kol ma shebarata lahachayot behem nefesh kol chai baruch chai olamim. Have a good Shabbos.